I'm the team principal for Toyota Motorsport South Africa. Also Allspeed, my company, which does all the behind the scenes activities and the facility which enables us to do all the competition which Toyota needs in Southern Africa and around the rest of the world where Dakar vehicles are concerned. Well, I started my career as a student apprentice with Chrysler in the United Kingdom in the late 70s. And during one of my stints around the factory, I joined the motorsport or the competitions department. And although I was passionate about it at the time, I fell in love with it. And when I finished my studies, I went straight there. They found a place for me, and I stayed in that area as a technician for 3 years, did European rounds of the World Rally Championship. We had a prototype vehicle for what was known as later become the Lotus Sunbeam with Lotus cars, and so it was a cross-pollination project. And that car the year after went on to win the World Rally Championship, so it was a great grounding. Then I came to South Africa for General Motors in 1980, again as a technician, and then General Motors decided they didn't want to be in motorsport any longer, and I joined a dealership with Jeff Mortimer in Secunda of all places. And one day Volkswagen walked through the door and asked Jeff to start up Audi Sport in South Africa. So we started running the Quattros from 1983 up until 1990. I became a driver. I'd always had a passion. I'd won the regional rally championship here, and then became a factory driver for VW in the middle 80s, and then finally won the rally championship in 1990 in the Golf. And during that period I started my company called Allspeed, which basically ran the VW dealer team at the end of that, and I drove for Ford for 2 years. It was a full-time job as a professional driver, and then joined Nissan to run their touring car program, and then finally became the general manager of Nissan Motorsport, and stopped driving then. And then Nissan became Allspeed, although it was still known as Nissan Motorsport. And then finally I joined Toyota 3 years ago, and that's a quick summation of the last, if you say it quickly, I don't know, more than 20 years. So that's where the passion comes from. Well, Allspeed as an entity has been around since in the early 90s. It's the company that I used when I won the National Rally Championship as a driver, but in those days for VW. And it's been used, the company's been used over the years by Nissan and now by Toyota. And I've got a great team of guys here. We're nearly 38 strong, and a lot of those people have been with me for, 15, 19 years. So it's got a good history. Now, our specialisation is anything to do with motorsport, whether it's track racing or off-road. And of course, off-road means rally as well. We compete in the South African Rally Championship with Horus in the S2000 category, and in off-road in South Africa with Hilux. So we've got a good range of skills here, and anything to do with motorsport that we've got the engineering ability to cope with that. South Africa's got all of the resources needed really to compete on the global market. We've got great engineers. We're fortunate here in Toyota Motorsport to have a really a good group of guys dedicated and both designing and conceptualizing new things that can make cars better. We can manufacture parts in South Africa. The original arms industry gives us access to all sorts of resources around the Johannesburg region, where these small companies and specialized companies allow us to do engineering jobs that are not normally easy in other countries. So we're really fortunate for that. So we've got everything that's needed to build a good motorsport team here.